So, we are talking about the poem Peace by Swami Vivekananda. The peace is nothing but satisfaction or peace of our mind, which is very important and what we are neglecting nowadays in the modern periods, and we are focusing more on the worldly things, we are focusing more on the practical things, we are running after name and fame, we are running after money, but at the same juncture, we are forgetting that peace of our mind or satisfaction is also very necessary. So the question posed in front of all of us is that where is the peace, or what is exactly the peace? So in this poem, the peace, Swami Vivekananda is explaining us exactly where does the peace reside. How is the peace? How is the nature of the peace? He is explaining in this poem. See what he is saying. Behold, it comes in might. See, the most powerful thing in the world is peace. Is it not a paradoxical statement? Peace is a process in which we are doing nothing, we are experiencing quietness, calmness, and still what he is saying that peace is the most powerful thing in the world. Might, M-I-G-H-T, might, it means the powerful thing. The power that is not power. And again in the second line what he says, but the power is not power. The power or the definition of power, what the modern society has explained, or what modern society think about power, that is not exactly the power which is peace. The modern society thinks that the power lies in money, the power lies in status, the power lies in name, the power lies in fame, the power lies in your position. But what Swami Vivekananda here is explaining, that power lies in the peace of our mind. If we are experiencing that satisfaction, if we are experiencing that calmness of our mind, we can say that I am a powerful person. In third line, what he says, the light that is in darkness. See, if we are passing through a tunnel and the tunnel is filled with darkness, so peace can be the light which shows us the direction. So if our life is covered with darkness, if we are facing a bad phase in our life, at that time what human beings should do is that they should stop for a while, they should stop for a moment, and they should experience that peace of mind which can show them the new path. They may be able to find out the solutions to the problems which they are facing currently. In the fourth line, Swami Vivekananda says, the shed in dazzling light. Suppose it's a summer season, there is a scorching heat, okay? We are not able to experience, we are not able to suffer through that heat. And in such a situation, if we are taking shelter under a tree and we are experiencing that coolness, so similarly, peace is such kind of a coolness in the scorching heat. See, scorching heat here, it is a symbol. It is a symbol of our problems. It is a symbol of our pessimism. It is a symbol of the bad phases which every one of us face at some juncture in our lives. So what we should do at that time, what we do actually in reality, we start searching for more options. Yes, I am facing this problem, I should search for more options. But what is prescribed by Swami Vivekananda, or what is prescribed in our Hindu philosophy, is that at such junctures you should stop. If you are fumbled, if you are confused, you should not run, you should not try for new options. At such junctures it is very necessary to take a halt, under some shady tree, okay, and experience that coolness, peace of mind. Your mind will be regenerated, your mind, there will be a new rebirth, of new ideas in your mind. Innovative ideas may struck your mind, and then you can start anew. Then you can start on your new path once again. In the second stanza, what he says is, it is joy that never spoke. Peace is an individual experience. See, I cannot share my peace, my satisfaction, my peace of mind, my calmness of mind with other people in the society, even not with my, what you can say, relatives, even not with my near and dear ones. So, it is a personal, complete personal experience. You have to experience it on yourselves. So nobody can share the peace with you. No, it is not sold or bought. It cannot be sold or bought. So it is the thing to be experienced in our minds, in our hearts. So it cannot be spoken about, because as it is a personal experience, the personal experience varies, as you all know. So my experience of peace may vary from the another person, and therefore we cannot share our experiences of peace with each other. And grief unfelt and profound. See, it is not only a joy, but Swami Vivekananda is comparing it with a grief even. What he is saying, there are few personal problems, there are few personal griefs, there are few personal, what you can say, emotional upheavals which we cannot share with the others. They are our own. They are lying in the dark corners of our mind, but they are very deep. They hurt us, but we are not able to share them with anyone else. So similarly, the peace of our mind cannot be shared with anyone else. He says further, immortal life unlived. So how is the peace? Peace is compared with the immortal life unlived. So in this line, there is a figure of speech called as oxymoron. He is using two opposite words in a single line. Immortal life unlived. So mortal life, as you all know, has got an end, and immortal life is going on. And if the life is immortal, how it can be unlived? If it is a life, we have to live it. So what here he wants to say is that immortal life unlived means, again, it is a personal experience. It is a personal experience which has to be experienced by that individual. So some may live that kind of a peace in their lives. And so he is saying immortal life. So some people experience that peace and they became immortal, and some people, they are unable to experience that kind of a peace, and so we can say that unlived. They haven't lived that kind of experience of a peace. So immortal life unlived. Some people become immortal by experiencing peace, and few people are unable to experience that kind of peace. So this is the line over here. Eternal death unmown. Again he is comparing it with the eternal death. Here again, the figure of speech, you can say it is antithesis or oxymoron. Eternal death. How death can be eternal? Death is a small thing. Death is a momentary thing, temporary thing. And he is saying that death is eternal over here, permanent over here. And again he is adding that it is unmourned. Nobody is mourning over that death. Nobody is expressing the grief. Nobody is expressing the sadness over that death. So he is saying eternal death unmourned. So see, the same peace he is comparing with joy. He is comparing it with grief, comparing it with life, comparing it with death. So why he is doing all these comparisons? Because the experience of peace is completely individual experience which cannot be shared with anyone, and that's why he has used such kind of symbols over here. So what he says in the next stanza, let us see what he says about the peace. Again he says it is not joy nor sorrow. So you cannot label the peace. You cannot categorize the peace. It is not a watertight compartment that I can say I can fit into joy or I can fit into this compartment of sorrow. It is neither joy, it is nor sorrow. It is something which is in between. It is something which is in between the joyful experience as well as the experience of the sorrow. But that which is between that. It is not night or nor morrow. It is not yesterday. It is not the past nor the future. Where is the peace? So this is the secret message given by Swami Vivekananda. He says the peace, the experience of peace is neither in the past or nor in the tomorrow. But where is the peace? Peace is in the present moment, my dear students. Peace is in the now, the power of now. So enjoy it. Sometimes don't think about the past. Don't think about the future. What has happened in the past? Which mistakes I have committed in the past? That doesn't matter. Sorry, they don't matter. But what we are going to do now, what we are going to experience now, that is more important. What we human beings, as a human being, what we are doing, we are always thinking about the past mistakes or always we are thinking about the future ambitions. And what we forget to tend, we forget to enjoy the present moment. And that's what Swami Vivekananda is saying. There is something in between. There is something in the present moment which is very necessary for all of us to live our lives happily, to live our lives peacefully. That is the peace. But that which joins them in. He says, what is his personal opinion, Swami Vivekananda's opinion, that peace is like the linker, peace is like the conjunction which connects the past and the tomorrow, past and the future. It is the linker. Okay, so that linker, that connector, that is very important, and what is not important is the yesterday or the tomorrow. It is sweet rest in music. Okay, there are pauses when we speak. We don't speak continuously. In a continuous speech even we take few pauses so that the readers or the listeners, they should understand whatever we are speaking or whatever we are talking. Similarly, in the music also, when the singer is singing a song, he is presenting a song in front of the audience, he takes the meaningful pauses. Okay, meaningful pause is nothing but taking a breath, inhaling a breath inside. Okay, so Swami Vivekananda is comparing the peace with the sweet rest in music or the pause in the continuous speech and pause in a sacred art. So pauses are very necessary. Pauses regenerates our mind. Pauses give us new force, new energy, new enthusiasm to our minds. The silence between speaking. That's what I am saying. It is not always necessary to speak more. Silence also speaks more. In our philosophy, it has been told many times that silence speaks more. So, the similar thing is emphasized by Swami Vivekananda. Between two feet of passion, it is the calm of our heart. See, where is the peace? It is the calm of heart. Calmness which we feel in our hearts, that is the peace. 2 feet of passion. In the beginning also I explained this modern man, in this postmodern era or in the modernist era, what we are doing, we are always running after something. We are always striving to achieve this, that, and we are never, we don't have time to enjoy whatever we have earned, whatever we have earned by our hard work. So it is very necessary to stop between 2 fits of passion, between two experiences, and enjoy that experience. So that kind of pause, that kind of gap, you can say, that is peace defined by Swami Vivekananda. In the next stanza he says, it is beauty never seen. See, beauty resides in everybody's heart. What we say always about beauty, beauty is not in the person, but beauty is in the beholder's eyes. Okay, who sees? So similarly, the peace is in the person's mind or a heart which is experienced by that person. So it cannot be, the beauty of the peace cannot be explained. And a love that stands alone. If I experience that kind of peace, I start loving that kind of peace. So it is my peace, my beauty, the beauty of my peace which I love alone and which I tend to experience alone. It is my personal, that peace becomes my personal beloved, you can say. It is my own beloved. It is nobody else's beloved. It is song that lives unsung. Don't leave that song unsung. It is a song of the peace which should be sung by each and every human being who is on this earth. It is the opinion of, again, Swami Vivekananda. And knowledge never known. See, it is the knowledge. We cannot say it is never known. It is known to everyone. See, double negative makes it positive statement. Song that lives unsung, knowledge never known. It means that everybody knows it. Everybody knows where does the peace reside, where is the peace, what is the peace, but nobody is ready to enjoy it. So experience that kind of peace. Again, this is the message given in the poem. Sing that song of peace. Experience that knowledge of peace. It has become the dire need of the day. It is death between two lives. He's saying it is the death between two lives, the nullness, the gap, and lull between two storms. That's what I am saying. I am fighting in this modern era. I am always fighting my wars. I am always fighting against some odds, against some difficulties. But it is very necessary. Are there storms always? No, there are not always storms in our lives. There are not always bad phases in our lives. There are not always difficult times in our lives. There are few silent phases also. So it is very necessary to enjoy that lull, to enjoy that silence. The void whence rose creation. It is very necessary, my dear students, what Swami Vivekananda is focusing, emphasizing over here. The void, the nullness, what common people, what ordinary people like us, what we think that there is nothing. So there is one theory of the creation of this universe, that this universe was created out of nothing. So similarly, peace is created out of nothing. When there is nothing, there is peace. So it is a kind of equation, you can say, mathematical equation. When there is nothing, there is peace. So try to enjoy that nothingness. Try to enjoy that nullness. Try to enjoy that void out of which the universe is created. And that where it returns. See, we return to that nullness at the end of our lives. So peace, is it necessary to enjoy that peace after death? Or is it necessary to enjoy that peace in our lives also? That is the question posed by Swami Vivekananda. So he is saying it is very necessary that we are born from that peace, and at the end of our lives we will be moving towards that peace, but it is also necessary to enjoy that peace in between also. That is in our lives also. Between two extreme ends also, birth and death, it is necessary that peace we should enjoy, we human beings should enjoy. Okay? And in the last stanza, he is asserting, to it the teardrop goes, to spread the smiling form. It is the goal of life. See, it is the eternal message, it is the universal message given by Swami Vivekananda. It should be the goal of our life. Money, status, name, fame, foreign tours, this, that, they should not be the goals of our lives. What should be the goals? What should be the aims of our lives? The aim of our life should be peace. It's our only home. What he is saying, it's our only home. From that peace, we have been formed, or we are born out of that peace. We will be returning to that home even after our death. So is it not necessary Is it not necessary to enjoy that peace even during when we are alive? What we are running after is chaos. These worldly things, all these are, they are chaos. So this is the explanation given in the poem Peace by Swami Vivekananda. This is nothing but the philosophy which is, you can say, Indian philosophy it is. So don't run after worldly things, run after the peace of our mind. So peace of our soul, that is very necessary. When you are satisfied, when you have achieved your peace of mind, automatically all other things, all these worldly things you are going to achieve. They will not remain behind. If you are peaceful, new ideas will emerge in your mind and you will be successful in your lives. So it is very necessary to be peaceful at the bottom of your heart or in your minds. So this is the message given by Swami Vivekananda in this poem Peace. I hope you have understood it. Thank you.